Is this on? Yeah. Oh, turn this up. Oh, this up too. Hello, everyone. I am Ahriman le Méchant, the Demon King of Heretics. And today, we'll be playing a little game called Please Be Happy. God, I love to be happy. Anyways, I heard about this game a few months ago, and I've been really looking forward to it, and I bought it on release day. And I've only gotten a chance to play it today because I wanted to stream it. You don't know how hard it was for me to, just wait. Like, I've wanted to play this game for about 2 weeks, and it's been torture seeing it in my library and be like, I want to play it. But anyways, let's get right into it. There we go. Okay, start. I can't hear anything. Options.
Let's tweak a couple things.
Sound. It's on, right? Wait a minute. Oh, John. Oh, John. Yep. Apparently during the night, the cat got on my computer and hit the mute button again. Classic. He also turned on the airplane mode, like, when I turned it on. So, yeah. There we go. Now I can hear stuff.
Time to take a break.
What? No, I don't want to take a break. But I didn't even begin yet. Okay. Let's start.
I wonder what Wellington will be like.
Wellington, huh? Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Okay. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, and dropped their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like the birds in the trees. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen, once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro. Mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, sprouted across one side, like a footpath for fear. Nearby, an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud. And inside that deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the traveler sat to take a rest. With a scrabbling of nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveler watched the brush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you. They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first, there was no reaction. And then, first a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air. And then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny, as she took several slow steps forward. Her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with a wild curiosity. The strangers sat unfazed, their offering still outstretched. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaws around the gift, a bond was made. Maybe we aren't so different, you and I. The traveler returned the next day, and the day after that. Each day they brought some treat for their new friend. Each day, the fox steps grew a little more trusting. One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend. Have you been waiting
Oh.
long?
The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet then and there. The travelers sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too? This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow. Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world. Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to. I wish I could bring you with me, little friend. I wish that you could see the world too. Your home is all around me though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would carry the memories with them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently. Oh wow, this is comfy, actually. Sorry, had to take a sip of coffee. Oh, I got an achievement.
We've now docked at Wellington Skyport. Thank you for flying with Kiwi Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding, just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of the passengers getting ready to disembark. I wiggle There's our girl! I wiggle around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for... I don't even know how long it's been. Hours for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. A parade of footsteps begins to pass by outside my door. It's time. I listen carefully, waiting for a gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped down in front of. She doesn't even have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Humans. They're always kind of slow. I nod at the smiling flight attendant as I pass her by, then throw up my hood to cover my face. It's been a while since I last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on them than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand.
I made it!
My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the skyport. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling onto the shore is like a lullaby. It makes me want to burrow into the sand and take a nap. But I can't. First, I need to get out of here. And there's one more challenge ahead. Up ahead, that's not what I wanted to do. The snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. While I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying, it looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Humans sure like processes and procedures. I definitely don't have a booklet like that. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. The line moves briskly as passengers are cleared one after the other, and I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please.
Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something in the man's booklet, and then hands it back to him, and he continues on out of the skyport.
Next.
That's me. I don't know what they do to people without any papers, but I don't want to find out. I'm sure it involves lots of questions, being escorted around and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping a slight distance. With my breathing steady and tail calm, I'm sure I put on a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pockets, pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab the useless clunky phone I've been carrying around and let it clatter to the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it from me,
Oh, let me get that for you.
and I make a run for it, bolting ahead and rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
Hey, you wait!
Oh,
Stop!
Miho doing crimes! Miho doing crimes! I wouldn't expect it. Oh. Oh, that's tiny. That's tiny. Oh, hi, Derek! Hi! Oh, I'm still wearing the hat. That's right. Oh god, how long have you been waiting for me to notice? I think it was behind me the entire time. Sorry about that. But yeah, you just, Miho's doing crimes, I guess. By the time they realize what's happened, I already have a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed, combined with the natural chaos of the skyport, should also buy me a bit of time. Miho! Still, I gotta get them off my tail. Oh my god, we have a map system? Huh. I have to say, I didn't expect that. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow. Putting the thought out of my mind, I vault over a low wall into a nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but only for a moment. I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappears except a slight warmth against my neck. My secret weapon. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. A certain one of the beads strung around my neck begins to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet begin to morph first, with birds chasing up my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. This sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing now how it's become second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift in turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable, my once human face changing and lengthening into a snout with some difficulty. The process completes after only a few seconds. I open my eyes not as a human, but as a fox. I dart away without waiting, far quicker on 4 legs than I could ever be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as a human, but instead I'm able to flit between the gaps without slowing down.
That's her! I know it!
Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. His heavy breathing gets farther and farther away, and in just a minute or two I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am, but it's not like I knew where I was when I started running. I almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Even in crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything that can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me, Comfortable that danger's past, I slip into another alley. Once I'm sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. And that familiar flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, and I open my eyes to glance at my hands.
Better luck next time.
Brushing the dust off of myself, I nonchalantly stroll out of the alleyway and back onto the street. The odd person walks by on this errand or another, not paying attention to me, just the way I like it.
Left, right, past turn, left.
Mapping out the path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there. I pick turns at random without any real destination in mind. When I decided to make this journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overheard about another pair of travelers talking about it and how beautiful a city it was. With a moment now to take in the scenery, I can see they weren't wrong. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills, now that I look around some. From just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections floats my way. I head in its direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. In one big lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past, but when I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail and runs away. Dogs and I have always had an understanding. Oh, look. Stop pressing the middle mouse button. After squeezing it, there are brightly colored signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is the variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I'll be able to do most of my shopping around here. Miho, are you planning to do more crimes? There are stores with food, with clothes, and just about anything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. Let's check. Oh, hi guys! Yeah, the game's art is really nice. You know what? Maybe I should play this in windowed. That might be a better option. Save first, just in case. Save first. There we go. Window. Okay, how do I do this? Oh, that works. That works. What about this? Oh, that doesn't work. Is my thing broken? Did my camera turn off? Hold on a second, guys. Oh, it crashed. Oh, wait. Oh, thank God. No. Turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. There we go. There we go, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know how to edit things out, so... Well, I'm shit out of luck there. Oh wait, you guys were still on this. Right. No, wait. Nope. That's right. Anyways. Let's continue, shall we? What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later, after all the shops are closed. Miho, are you planning to do more crimes? Then a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on a phone in a language I don't recognize. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. Miho! I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it up. Prying open the black leather pockets, I find...
Score.
Miho! A couple bills in what I figured is the local currency. I slide the money out and into a pocket of my jacket. By now, the man is so far ahead that he's almost out of sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him to give him back his wallet, and he barely even says thank you.
I should have just kept the whole thing.
Miho, that's a Miho don't care. Miho don't care. It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would have ever gotten back without me. How much is that in Kiwi? Is that 15? What is the unit of currency in Wellington? Nope, not curious, not curious. I head back to my bench and inspect my prize. A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy, nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
Miho. 15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get the better of me, as I haven't had anything since I snuck onto the airship. Crime after crime. Crime after crime, Miho. Following my nose, I walk down the busy street until I find one of the many cafes lining the path. The sign hanging above its front door has a picture of a bell on it. Oh, I know this. A charming bell rings out from above the door as I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing, cool air washing over me, which feels even better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
Oh, another demi-human. The barista behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. As I nod in greeting, she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in the other.
What can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one.
Okay, now I'm curious. What's an affogato? Affogato. Oh. Oh, that sounds real good. Affogato, or more traditionally known as affogato al cafe, is an Italian coffee-based dessert. It usually takes the form of a scoop of plain milk-flavored or vanilla gelato, or ice cream topped or drowned with a shot of hot espresso. Ooh, that sounds real good, actually. Oh my. Oh, I like that.
Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5.
Okay, now I'm curious. Kiwi bucks. Okay. Oh, $3.18. That's $3.18. Not sure what I expected. Nope, that's the wrong thing.
I'd like a...
I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that a vegetable? Not wanting to commit to the strange-sounding drink, I look at the menu instead. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten, spindly letters. I can't read a single word, and there are no helpful pictures. Safe option it is.
I'll just have a vanilla latte. Ugh, boring. But okay.
Hey!
Name? Miho.
It's my first time testing out how that name sounds, and I decided that I like it. I decided on the airship that was the name I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life that I can't remember most of them. For each new city that I visit, I come up with something new. Foxes don't have any use for names, so nobody ever gave me one. She scribbles something on the cup with a black marker. If that's how the name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
$4.50, please.
I hand her the brown bill, and she gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
All right. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
She sure looks enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working. Looking about somewhere to sit, I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Near the entrance of the cafe, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and tour pamphlets, so I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. The cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere. They're on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang out down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs in them. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it is more comfortable to me than places without.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Looking down to the map I took, I trace up the path I made from the port to this cafe. It's useful, but it doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. I'll need to find a higher vantage point. I move my finger along the hills I noticed from outside, following the little brown path through a patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work from now.
Miho!
My ears perk up right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks!
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hand, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow? Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I glance behind me in the window. It's sunny and blue a day as I have ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there. I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
She finally lets go of my drink and heads back behind the counter. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip.
Oh, this is really good.
It's pretty plain, but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. Can foxes have coffee? I feel like that's poisonous for foxes. Whatever. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inwards as I sip the warm drink. Or maybe she's a human right now. It doesn't matter. Ahriman, stop thinking about it. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life being spent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So I've taken simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time. I've been itching for a change of scenery anyways, so I boarded, snuck onto the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but the clothes on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. I take a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath, and pat their face a couple times, and then go inside. They must not be looking forward to whatever is going to happen in there. Maybe they have to fight someone. Through the large glass window of another store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. The people waiting with her look annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. Huh? For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watched various street figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in a busy city. I eventually go to sip on my coffee, only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. On a sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one on the map. It will be the perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I'll find an empty building I can crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes, it's even better than sleeping in a bed. Encouraged by the plan forming in my head, I set off on a long walk to the summit. Oh, more map sections. I know, right? I guess it's just common. Oh well. The path to the mountain turns out to be less simple than the map made it look. First, the trail takes me along the waterfront, then it turns upward through a small forested area. Being among the trees and their tall shadows makes me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the edge, avoiding passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through yards or up unmarked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I make a mental note to go check them out when I'm low on money or food. Miho! Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple airships are coming to dock at the skyport, probably from one of the other floating islands. You know, with the fawn earlier, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if this is like literal, or if she's like talking about just regular islands or continents, like they're actual dead-ass floating islands. I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. There's still a ways to go to the top of the mountain, but luckily the walk has been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of road. I can see where it curves ahead to the summit, and I hurry to the end. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me by. You're throwing it in a garbage can, right, Miho? You're not gonna litter, right, Miho? You're from the forest. You shouldn't nature. You're from the forest, so you shouldn't nature. God, I'm tired. God, I'm tired. You're from the forest. You shouldn't litter. Nope, that's wrong.
How far is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Mount Victoria.
I see. I'm glad to know what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help it commit it to memory. Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edge of the floating island we're on, miles out into the open sky. I survey the city, using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. What was it the barista said it was called? The bell house? It's tough to make out details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't much better than that of a human's. Then I noticed something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Probably. What can you see from here?
Oh?
I see Dad's car!
Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to a post. His mom is helping him aim it at the city. It must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get to them first. When I press my eyes to the same spot the child did, though, all I can see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. Is this thing busted? Some small text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot, though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Lucky for me, it's the coin that has a 50 on it. I put the coin I received from a barista into the slot and spin a lever. The machine eats my coin, and then when I put my eyes to it again...
Yes!
Oh, good. Oh, good. She learns how binoculars work. Everything looks much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear in crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. And she's gonna run out of binocular minutes by the time I'm finished reading this. I aim the viewing glasses at the city and look around, trying to find a good place to rest for the night. Houses are a no-go. Even if they look empty or abandoned, you can never let your guard down for a minute. Same with most shops. I don't have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the sights, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound. Once again, the view goes black. I'm a psychic! I'm psychic! Stupid machine. I smack it a couple of times to check again, but I still can't see anything.
Well, whatever. Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
I head back down the trail a little bit and veer off of it into the underbrush. Hey, more question marks. Nice. Another map. I'm really, really interested in this map section. Oh, you can see my mouse spinning around. But yeah, no, I'm very interested in this. I hope this has some sort of function. Yeah, I did. Oh.
Not perfect, but it'll do.
It's not exactly the wilderness, but everything around here seems cityfied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people. A place nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Oh. Fox mode! Fox mode! If I had an air horn, I'd use it. But Fox mode! As a fox, the sensations of nature are much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing, and the breeze whips through my tails like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass so tall that it reaches way over my head. I can smell fresh water, and follow the scent to a small stream where I'm able to parch my thirst. Okay, PSA, don't drink from rivers unless you're Miho. Unless you're Miho. Rules don't matter much. Oh, wait a minute. My cursor is still the... Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I'll get back to that later, but first, story. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got from the cafe, but in a different way. Being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw, or worse, one of those lids with the tiny holes. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants that'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as good as satisfying as eating human food. If I want a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area. A small valley with hills on most sides, and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noise, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot I settle on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing that I will be out of sight. And so, I start to dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. What? I don't know if you noticed, but I bit my tongue during that. First, I dig forward, then downward, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. This is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. I think that's why I don't mind it too much, compared to sleeping inside somewhere. It just feels right to me. It takes a little while, and by the time I'm finally finished, the first few stars have started to peek out of the sky. I shake myself clean of the dirt that sticks to my coat, and then transform back into my human form. I need to stop pressing that button!
Spread this here, a couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you'd ever notice anything out of place. You know, that does look comfy, actually. But I wish I was a fox. I wish I could sleep there. All that digging has made me work up an appetite, and not the kind that'll be satisfied with just a few berries. Miho, are you about to eat a bird?
Ugh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I kind of forgot just how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Oh, thank God. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city.
Work never ends. Time to get some food!
Oh. And we're back in the city. No burrows in sight. I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, and that all of the stores would be closed. Turns out I was half right. A lot of the shops have gone dark for the evening, but there are just as many people walking around now as there were earlier. In fact, there might be even more. The patio of a restaurant has a bunch of tables full. A mermaid is sitting in front of the chapter I sat by. Oh, I really fucked that up. A mermaid is sitting in front of the fountain I sat by earlier, chatting with a cyclops. Even the cafe that I visited is crowded now, with a line almost out the door. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I got caught stealing. I'd just escape, obviously. And even if they somehow managed to catch me, it wouldn't be an issue for very long. See, there's something different about me that makes me extra good at being a thief. It's not just the skills I've practiced over years, like picking locks and sneaking around. Miho! Crime Fox! Miho! No, it's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me by the next day. Let's see. I don't know why, but I don't really care either. It's magic, that's all I know about it. Really useful magic. Oh. Oh. Careless. I just skipped an entire line! No! Eventually, no matter how careless I am, all of my problems are solved by the next day. That doesn't mean there's no danger. I've been caught in the act before, and beaten or harassed before I can manage to get away. I've even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square before I had to get going in a hurry. But if someone sees me but isn't able to stop me, I know that I'll be home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. Miho! Crime Fox! It almost makes things too easy. Right now would be smarter to just come back even later, in the dead of night, and hope there are no people around. I'd be able to take my time browsing, without having to worry about making a quick escape. Where's the fun in that, though? Miho! I walked casually up and down the street, glancing into windows without being too obvious about it. Some stores still have customers inside. Others have locked their doors and shut off the lights. Most of the restaurants are still open, and are only making me hungrier. God. And I clicked off of it. That's wrong. There we are. Nope. That's wrong too. There we go. Stealing from restaurants is a bit much for me, though. I've tried it before, but with the cluttered kitchens, as well as all the tables and chairs, make it hard to get around. Plus, I've learned the hard way that there are plenty of hot or sharp things for angry cooks to throw at you as you try to make your way out. Niho! Instead, packaged and pre-made foods are my best friend. Things that I can grab multiples of at once and stuff in my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches or salads, or sometimes perfectly good hot food that gets thrown out. You wouldn't believe that the kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the trash a little bit. It's not ideal, of course, but a hot meal is a hot meal. I know plenty of foxes who've eaten much worse.
Target spotted.
Miho! Crime Fox! Miho! That's not even sandwiches, that's candy! Miho! It's perfect. A small convenience store. Snacks lined up behind the front window. Even better, the shops on either side of it are closed too, so there are not many people in the area.
Locked, huh? Not surprising.
You think? I head down a nearby alley and find the back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alleyway is dark to begin with, and my dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad like always for my excellent night vision. Nobody's watching, nobody's even around. I pull up my hood over my ears and tuck my tail between my legs, leaning against the sturdy door. To anyone not looking closely, I'm sure I appear as nothing more than a shadow. I dig around in my pocket until I find my trusty lockpick, and then set up to work on the door. It's not a complicated lock at all, just a regular keyhole. Miho. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, there we go. With a click, the latch springs open just a few short moments later.
Bingo. Huh?
I try to tug the door towards me, but there's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit through the gap, but it would be easy for a fox. First, I slink away for a bit, idling on the nearby street like a regular pedestrian. I wait to see if anyone shows up, just in case I triggered a silent security system. After about 10 minutes, I decide it's safe. I transform under the cover of darkness in the alley and slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and the receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes of sodas and candy bars on the floor. I grab a couple of my favorites and shove them into my pockets. Miho, that's not even good food! Come on, get some ramen or something! Come on! When I creep into the main area, I make sure to stay low to the ground, trying to avoid being seen from outside. I'm not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coat as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorns. I'm not very picky. Oh, please, just get some real food. Ah, yes, that's a good point. Ah, ba 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 ba. When my coat starts to feel pretty heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot in there. I also take a few bottles of water and sports drinks from the coolers. Okay, water I can get. Sports drinks I can also kind of get, honestly. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a few of those plastic-wrapped sandwiches that I was thinking about earlier. Those coveted plastic-wrapped sandwiches.
Jackpot!
I fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing, and then I head out back the way I came in. Miho. In total, I was in and out in under 5 minutes, and I've got enough supplies to last me several days. When I step into the alley, I glance around in both directions, making sure no one saw me emerge from the store. I don't see anyone, but my neck prickles as if someone is watching me. I sniff the air but don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that wasn't there before. Still. Uh-oh. I know where this is going. Suddenly there's a flap of wings and a bat flutters past me from out of the shadows. It goes right over my head and disappears from sight up the street.
Oh, that's it?
I know where this is going. I let out the breath I'd been holding and start making my way back towards the mountain where I made my den. I let the bag from my arm swing as I walk, whistling a song I heard earlier. I'm not able to keep a smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first day. I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
There have been plenty of days in my life where I'd had none of those things. I unwrap one of the sandwiches I grabbed and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
I've said it enough. Miho, crime fox. I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here.
So tired. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
I unpack everything that I got from the store, as well as a few treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my wallet, a few pretty stones. The only thing that I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
I change back into a fox and then dig another hole near the entrance to my den. Stop pressing that button. Ahriman. This one is much simpler and shallower, and I bury some of the snacks that I stole before covering them back up with dirt.
Not like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry.
Miho.
I stole this myself, after all.
Miho.
Don't want it being stolen from me.
Miho. Stuff like my pen and my favorite rock going. My favorite rock? I have a favorite rock. Go into the burrow with me, since I like having them close by. Once I've got everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. Well, that's a dog right there. From here, I have a perfect view of the stars. I look up. I tell you, Crime Fox. I look up at the clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel. I feel bad for all the people on way down on the underworld. Underworld?
Can they even see the stars from there?
Nope, that wasn't Miho. That was me. That was Miho. Hey. I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. I can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. I'm sure it's only morning as I peer out.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right!
I'm sure it's only morning as I peer out the burrow's entrance, but the sky is already dark and foreboding. My attention moves from the ominous rain clouds to above the trees outside my den, their branches shaking in the strong breeze. I climb up the tunnel and out into the open, sniffing the air. It just tells me what I already know. A storm is coming, and fast. But also, another scent plays on my nose. One so faint that I almost brushed it off before taking another smell. Surely I'm wrong. There's no way that... Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate the area, and then decide that I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
Yes, someone's definitely been here, but the scent isn't a human's. It's vaguely familiar, but at the same time, it's not like anything I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't here when I went to sleep.
They must have come here in the night and stopped right outside my den.
Were they watching me sleep?
That's not us, right?
Oh, crap!
As a fox, I dive back in my hole to make sure everything is still there. My heart pounds in my chest, but nothing appears to be missing. I also check the spot where I buried my stash from last night, but that hasn't been disturbed either. I breathe a sigh of relief. If any of my stuff had been stolen, I'd be so mad. But that still doesn't answer the question of what they did want. And that's even more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. So if someone was able to sneak up on me, even I have to be impressed. Impressed, and a little bit worried. I've got a more pressing issue right now, though, and I stare up at the sky in disappointment.
Ugh, I hate the rain.
I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I'd known this would happen. Instead, both burrows will probably just be piles of mud by the end of the day.
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
How does it go again? We spent the night stealing food. Now we're homeless, traveler. I think that's how it goes. I filled my pockets with my most important possessions and some of the food I grabbed last night. Everything else I wrap as tightly in the plastic bags as I can and bury them in my den. Hopefully I can find somewhere fast and then move everything over before it gets ruined. An abandoned house would be perfect, or some other place I'd be able to hide. After finishing packing up, I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound overhead catches my attention. I expect it to be a bird, but instead it's yet another bat. Yeah, I thought that was sus. I thought it was sus. This one is even bigger than the one I saw last night. Its wings are way longer and noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies past. Some people say bats and foxes are similar. I don't see it. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off towards the city.
Maybe it knows somewhere to stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
A couple of times, it disappears between the trees or just too far ahead, but I always manage to catch back up. Eventually, we're out of the woods and back into civilization, where a car whizzes right past me. There's a sidewalk here, and other people walking around. Most of them look up to the sky nervously, though, and everyone seems to be in a hurry.
Guess I'm not the only one looking to get away from the rain.
More people seem to be going in the direction I was headed than anywhere else, so I stick to that. By now, my winged guide is almost out of sight again, just a little black speck in the sky flying into the distance. Farther up the road, there's a slope that leads to a big, fancy-looking building. It doesn't look like a shop or a restaurant, at least not one that I've seen. But there are so many people going in and out that it has to be open to the public. That's good enough for me. It'll give me somewhere dry to spend some time. Maybe I can learn something useful. Plus, places like this usually have plenty of valuables inside. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find something to fund my next few days. Miho! Cram Fox! Miho! After all, the bigger the target, the less likely they are to notice something missing. Miho! Miho! The sturdy oak door isn't as heavy as it looks, a firm push being enough to heave it open. Gingerly stepping inside and out of the rain, I'm greeted by books. Lots of books. Oh, books on shelves, books on tables, books on the floor, books everywhere. Oh. The place even smells of musty old paper, and the dozen or so people inside are mostly leafing through the pages in the aisles. The odd silence around the building is striking, given how many there are. It doesn't look like a shop, so I assume this must be a library. I've heard of them, but never been in one. No point, since I can't read it at all. No, hey, no. Whatever. There's a desk near the entrance with a computer on it that I assume would be where I check in. It's unattended, which is good for me. I take a seat in an empty chair nearby, and sit back just to observe for a bit. There are plenty of people, but it's not too busy. Lots of empty, unwatched faces. Most people seem to be here alone, or in small groups that keep to themselves. There's not much conversation going on, and what there is all whispered. Nobody gives me a second glance, which is a good sign. It means I'm probably not breaking any rules just by being here. And suddenly she cares about rules. Okay. Behind the desk, there's a hallway leading deeper into the building. I peek around the corner to see what's back there. All I can see are some shut doors, and at the very back, a staircase. Ow. Hey, I saw that. I saw that. After glancing around to make sure that no one's watching, I sneak down the hall and try a couple of the doors. Wait, Miho, are you sneaking into this place? All of them are locked. I could probably pick them if I wanted to. No sense in trying to do that now, though. Is there anything more valuable around? An antique clock or vase would be perfect. Miho! Sadly, it's almost all books. Books and small trinkets that look pretty worthless. Not even worth the trouble of stealing. At least it's got a roof. I do spot a couple of promising items, like a set of old coins, and memorize their locations. I've wandered back to the main area where I came in. Outside, it hasn't started raining yet, but it's only a matter of time. The wind is loud and gusty, and even opening the door is enough to make me shiver. If nothing else, I can probably wait out the rain here. But, my poor abandoned snacks back at the den. What a waste. Can't do anything about it now, though. I should keep looking around. I move slowly through the area, never going beyond what seems to be the public area. I pretend to inspect a few books, taking them off the shelves and flipping through the pages, but I'm actually mapping out the place in my head. Doors, windows, potential places to hide, things like that. Miho Crime Fox! Miho Crime Fox. Most of the time, this kind of info is unnecessary. It's been at least a few decades since I've had to make a traumatic escape from anywhere. At this point, fighting an escape route is just a habit. Overall, I like what I'm seeing. Even with all the locked doors and off-limits hallways, there are a lot of nooks and crannies that would make a good hiding spots, especially as a fox. From the thick dust that coats a lot of the areas, I can tell they don't get a whole lot of visitors. If I'm careful, I might be able to go a whole week or more without being noticed. As long as I can easily get in and out of the buildings easily, at least. And with the huge windows that line the back wall, that seems easy enough too. I weave around a couple of shelves that are far taller than I am, heading for the far back corner. I peer around the corner of the last aisle just to make sure I'm alone. Stop that! Stop! But I'm not. Oh, it's her! It's her! It's her! At a small table by the window sits a woman with a small book in her hand, resting against her fingers. She's perfectly still, but mouths the words on the pages she reads like she's tasting them instead of just seeing them. Her expression has the distant look of someone way off in their own world, far away from this one. She looks so at peace now that I think she must belong in the other world. Other world? She's beautiful and elegant in the same way as a painting, with the light from the window shining around her like a display. I duck back behind the bookshelf, pressing one hand to my racing heart. The other bumps against one of the books on the shelves, and it falls with a dusty thump. Ha. First. Yep. Hi, Johnny. Alright. Now we're... sure. Anyways, I think we'll leave off here. Because what's better than a cliffhanger, right? I'm just that evil. No, wait. Oh. Save. Not load. Hi. Hey, buddy. Hi. Is there something you need? Just want some loving? Oh, there we go. Anyways, I think the next time that I'll be live is going to be probably the 10th. I'll continue this probably after then, like next week or so. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Otsu ari! Haha. Wink, wink, wink.